Last couple of years, especially from Johns Hopkins out of the East Coast, we have lots of research now that is showing a correlation with hearing loss and dementia. And what we're finding is that when you have hearing loss for a long time, what it does, they actually have done MRI studies and shown that the brain has shrinkage. It actually shrinks the brain and shrinks different areas, and those cells oftentimes may not come back. And our left side of our brain, especially right behind your ear, the temporal lobe back there, is our speech processing center, and so in our hearing center. And so when hearing loss happens, that area is just a small little band, and if it doesn't have stimulation for quite a few years, that band begins to expand. And so if you have a hearing loss and you're trying to receive the speech information coming in, the first thing happens that because of my hearing loss, the speech is too soft, and it can be garbly. And so all of a sudden, the ear then is sending the brain a garbled message. Well, when the brain gets that garbled message, the normal pathway of the hearing nerve, it can't figure it out, so it has to borrow from someplace else. It has to borrow from memory, from problem solving, other parts of the brain. And the more that it borrows from other parts of the brain, it's taking away from their natural function. And so we're finding now that that's affecting memory. It's correlated with dementia. In fact, if you have a mild hearing loss, you're 2 times more likely to have dementia later on in life. If you have a moderate hearing loss, you're 3 times likely to have dementia. And if you have a severe hearing loss, you're 5 times more likely to have dementia. So it's becoming, hearing loss has been such a quiet, I think, disease, you want to call it that, because one, you can't see it. And it happens so gradually that people aren't aware that it's happening until one day it's, aha, I don't hear my grandson again. So because of that, that same lack of stimulation coming in the brain is causing that depletion to happen. So it's definitely one of those things to attack early in life. Now on the flip side, if you ask me, will hearing aids stop that from happening? Right now there's no research on that. They're doing a longitudinal study right now to see if hearing aid use early will stop that from happening. I can't tell you that will. However, catching people early here, and over the last 20 years and seeing that stimulation happen, I've seen people retain their function quite well. So I have a feeling that's probably a pretty positive study. But like anything else, if you don't use it, you lose it. So I think it's much more, it's smart for us as human beings to get the help, get that volume in there, keep that brain stimulated, just like we do crossword puzzles as we age, or play pinochle. You know, we do things that keep our brains active. That hearing is no different. If we can keep that nerve moving, get that volume to that cell structure, keep that cell structure active. Because if you have a hearing loss and I don't understand your words, now I have to, one, think about your brain's borrowing from what's the topic, what's your voice like, are you angry, are you sad, look at I have to read your facial expressions, I have to think about just what actually is the info you're giving me, and that's a lot of extra energy. And a lot of times when I have people come in for hearing loss, I ask them, are you tired by nighttime? They say, I'm wiped out by the night, because they're working so hard to listen that they're exuding a lot more just mental energy to do that, and that's what happens. So again, hearing aids allow us the opportunity to get that volume back, and it's amazing when you have people and you fit hearing aids and they're looking at you attentively until you turn the hearing aid on for the first time, and their body language, they just all of a sudden go right back. You just watch them completely go, this is a lot easier, a lot better. So, yeah. And dementia, actually, Alzheimer's is increasing. I think it's every 20 years it's increasing double. So that, you know, the more we do up front, the better. Yeah.